weep, grana weep, and ninny bong, and welcome back to my channel. And today, coming up, we have a mighty mini Devastator. And do you remember that live action GoBot movies from the 80s? Also, Hasbro pulled a bit of a blinder yesterday, and Shrapnel is looking absolutely phenomenal. Also, X-transbots, we finally see what that G2 version of Menasor looks like. All that and much more coming up in the next few minutes.
And now the news. Don't touch that dial.
First up though, we stop in with our friends at Funbiestudios, who've been getting together and actually making a transforming figure. Usually they're making accessories, but this is an obscure little character from Cybertron Galaxy Force who never got his own figure. This is called Signal Lancer, and this is a pretty cool little dude. Nice accessories. Like the way that the pole turns into a massive spear. The figure looks pretty darn nice as well. Massive 80s shoulder pads that look like they convert into some kind of shield as well. Really cool. Nice to see them kind of branching out. Don't forget, with Funbiestudios, these things are 3D printed, so you can print them out at home. Did you pick up Tarn recently and think, you know what, this bad boy is just missing a little bit of firepower? Then if you do believe that, Matrix Workshop have got you covered with this beautiful cannon accessory, and really adds a little bit to the figure. I think it's a really great looking gun. So apparently back in the 80s, there was another group of transforming robots called the GoBots. Never heard of them. Well, they never got a live action movie the same as the Transformers, and the team over at Alternate Reality Movies have been using some of this AI art to create a pretty interesting looking version of what a live action GoBots movie could have looked like. Now, this one is okay. I don't like it quite as much as the Transformers one. I think in parts it looks a little bit animated, but it's still pretty cool, pretty interesting to see, which is why I wanted to put it up here. Go and follow them on Facebook. They also have a YouTube channel which is well worth looking at. They've covered loads of different 80s ones. I've talked about this before. One of my favorite ones is definitely the Thundercats one, and that got the whole internet scratching its head going, did this actually happen? Everybody loves a good Devastator, and this is the Lucky Cat Microcosmos MC-02 Ricky O Combiner. Wow, so this came to us a few pictures via Weibo, and I like it. I like this little dude. I do think that there's something odd going on with his hands. He looks more like he's got pincers and claws, and his fingers do look a little bit odd. I believe this is quite a small little Devastator. I'll keep you updated as I see a few more images of this, but this is something that I might put in my collection. I do like a good Devastator. He's definitely my favorite combiner, so and this one interests me. Speaking of combiners, finally out in the wild, we can see pictures of a G2 Motormaster that, shock, comes with the trailer. Should have always come with the trailer. For those of you who don't know, when we got the original, more G1-centric colorway of this, X-transbots released both Motormaster and the trailer separately, which was a little bit challenging for some people, including myself. But for the G2 version, you're getting both together, which means you can have the finished article that looks something like this. Now, I know some people were happy with the finished version, some people weren't. Let me know, has the quality improved this time around? Have they made any alterations to this whatsoever? I have this whole collection apart from the trailer because, yeah, that really irritated me and I wasn't going to do what they wanted to do with the trailer. So I actually have all of these in my collection apart from the trailer. I never finished this combiner. Shame. An actual Transformers smartwatch looks like it's making its way to us. Looks pretty cool, looks pretty interesting. Not something I think that I'll get unless they do a Decepticon version of this. I like the way that the faceplate comes off and stuff like that, but I do wish it transformed. That'd be great. On the 31st of January 2023, Hasbro had another one of their Fan First Tuesdays where they showed off a whole host of new figures, even though the sound quality was abysmal all the way through, I have to say. And they showed off some of these Beast Wars figures, and you know, really, I'm not going to cover this too much because we've already seen a lot of leaks of these on the channel. The only thing I will say is the side-on view here of Arcee is absolutely horrific. They should never have shown side boob on this one, right? It's really not a good look. But then they also showed off Airazor. Again, as far as I can see with Airazor, it's an okay looking figure, but there's a definite mismatch when it comes to the colorways. Battletrap, so far, probably my favorite one that they have released. So they showed some images in hand. This is definitely my favorite mold that they've showed from this. Also, they showed Cheetor. Now, we spoke about Cheetor last week, and some people like it, some people don't. Some people are like, well, this is a different Cheetor, but just look at the difference. I found this Digibash online. Look at the difference if they just used the Beast Wars colors. That's like a whole different figure. I don't know who originally made this Digibash. It was shared all the way around, but really, really well done to you, because it just shows actually this could have been an okay looking figure if it was just normal Cheetor colors. And also, this is definitely the best meme that I've seen. Puss in Boots, 100% love this meme, well done. And then finally, from the Rise of the Beast, they also showed off Scourge, and they showed off like the front of the truck and all the emblems, and I don't think this is anything we haven't really seen too much before. They also showed the scale of it when they were at it in hand as well, and somebody, it had been really wrecking my head about what does the head on this dude remind me of, and then someone said Sauron, Lord of the Rings, down in the comments. Yes, that's it. It's a Lord of the Rings type Sauron effect. I 100% agree with that. I don't know how that kind of slipped me by, but yes, all about that. Yeah, 100%. That's why it's a little bit off-putting. Love the alt mode on this one. Bot mode, that heat, I can't handle it. We also got another look at another Dinobot from the awful line of core class Dinobots, and this one is Grimlock, and this looks shocking. What is going on with that tail? I really hope that that is mistransformed, but I don't think it is. Grimlock is probably one of the worst ones that we've seen so far. Absolutely horrific. Just why? Why? Something that did impress me though was the recolor, the Nemesis recolor of the core class Prime. What I really like here is that axe, that it's a bit more blue than teal, so I was a little bit surprised by that, but I love the way it's kind of shiny and just looks good. Prime definitely one of the better core classes, and then they also showed off a little bit more about Thundercracker that we've already spoke about on this channel. Looks okay in the bot mode, but the alt mode is bleh. We then got into all the figures, and if you've been following all the leaks, then you've probably seen a lot of these before. So they showed off a few new images and some in-hand images of Skyquake. I've said this before, this for me looks like a really, really good figure. Love anything that's coming from Transformers Prime, and I like that it's getting a lot of love in the Legacy line as well. So all in all, this is a great looking figure. They showed off another little Junkion, which again is something I think that we've seen before, but looks good. You know, the Junkions are always fun. Probably the best figure for me though was Shrapnel. Really, really good. I think they're doing a very good job with these brand new Insecticons. They then showed off this Metalhawk, which I think is a bit of a tweak on Twincast that they'd done before to turn it into this plane. I think it's a pretty good little twist on things. Going to be Voyager class and doesn't look too bad at all. They also showed off Crosscut. Again, this is something that we've seen before, just slight twist on skids. The Deluxe Prowl, for me, it looks okay, but I do think it looks like it sits outside of this line. It's too rounded edge, you know? There's something about the animated that's just, everything else is quite squared off and robotic. It looks out of place, I'll be honest, with the Prowl. They then showed off the nice looking Voyager Twincast, which is always the recolor that was going to come. This blaster's a pretty nice blaster all in all, and I actually prefer this Twincast to the original one. So great lineup of what's coming. Really, really impressive. Some at leader class, some at Voyager class, some at deluxe, but also they are showing what else is coming. So we're going to get a Dirge, which is just going to be another one from where we couldn't get it from the Earthrise lineup. There's going to be a Nemesis take on the awful Leo Prime. This one was a placeholder for the new Junkion that's coming. We're going to get a Beachcomber as well, so that's pretty nice. And ultimately what everyone will be looking forward to is the Armada Megatron. That's going to be a bad boy as long as they don't mess it up. I wonder how big he'll be as well. That'll be a really interesting one for me. All in all then, I actually thought this was a pretty good showing from Hasbro, although the sound quality was really, really atrocious, to be fair. I don't know if there was mics that just weren't working or whatever it was, but it was good to have the focus on just the figures. There was no other little bits. It was really just a figure showcase. They didn't talk about anything else, although I was hoping to maybe just see a couple more clips from the new movie that's coming out. But all in all, pretty good. Really looking forward to some of the new figures that are coming out and getting my hands on that Armada Megatron, definitely. So that is everything from me on this Hasbro Heavy Wednesday. Let me know your thoughts on everything down in the comments, and as always, I'll see you in my next video. Alright team, in a bit. Peace!